What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome back to another edition of MVP Sports Live right here on MVP Vids, either on Twitch or MVP Sports on YouTube. Like I said, my name is Ricky Widmer. I'm joined, as I always am, with my beautiful co-host, Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
And Dave, you kind of said before the show, we've had kind of a theme this week, and it's been music. Before the show, I want the people to know that you actually shared with me a music video and a song that I didn't think I was going to enjoy.
I mean, new song dropped today.
By the way, the way you described it, I'm like, I don't know, man. And then it's like, it starts playing. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. Are you going to say the name or am I going to say it?
It is all you. It is all a you effort.
What is it? Ice Cream? Is that it? By Blackpink, right?
Pink.
Blackpink. That's right. Because originally when you said it, I was like, that's not Pink. That's Selena Gomez. It's got Selena Gomez in it. And it's got some great lines. Like, I'm good with the cream, if you know what I mean. Which is probably now
words you never wanted to hear him say.
My new favorite line from that entire song. So go check it out if you have not already. But we are back for another edition of MVP Sports Live. Today is going to be all NFL, mainly because there's been no basketball games. Those are going to restart tomorrow, so Monday we'll be back with the NBA. It's not that we don't care. It's just right now, like, the trade deadline's coming up, but while you were on
162 games, too many.
I mean, this year's not that many. It's like 62, I think.
60 something.
Yeah, I think it's 62.
Still too many.
Like, the trade deadline's coming up, but like Jake and I hit trade deadline when you weren't here. Brandon and I really hit trade deadline when you weren't here. There hasn't been many trades that kind of like shook up the MLB sports world.
The White Sox acquired an outfielder who can't hit a baseball for about 250.
He can run, though. He can run real fast, though.
We got a guy who can run really fast, who can defend really well, but he can't hit a ball for the fucking life of him.
Yeah, well, maybe he'll just be a pinch runner. I don't know if he's going to be starting for the White Sox. Maybe he is. Who knows? But today is going to be all NFL. We're making our predictions for the 2020-2021 season. And there's a change this year that I forgot about while I was doing these predictions.
What's that change?
That there's 7 playoff teams now instead of 6.
True.
So now instead of 2 teams get like 2 on each side getting a bye, only the top seed gets a bye. And I guess that's a change that is going to stay because next year they're adding a 17th regular season game. So it'll be 17 regular season games plus the extra. We get now an extra 2 playoff games in the wild card round because of this. But before we get into everything, a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure to join the Discord if you haven't already. We had Josue coming in yesterday, brand new member. I believe that was Nick's. That wasn't Nick's Josh. I don't think that was, but it was coincidental. He followed, and then that's who joined the Discord after that. So if that's right, cool. But if not, link down below if you're on YouTube, !Discord in Twitch. Get you the link to be into the MVP Discord. If you want to help support the channel, 2 ways you can do that. Either go to patreon.com/MVPvids, or you can throw us a sub here on Twitch, or throw us your Prime Gaming sub that Amazon gives you for free. Throw it to us. Why not us? Why not use that on us? We could really use the help. And then that's pretty much it for housekeeping. Podcast services. We're still waiting on the inevitable. It'll be there. Don't worry. But that's pretty much it. Dave, how we're going to do this is we're going to break it down kind of how Mark and I used to do on the TOK, where we're going to break them up into conferences. So we'll do the AFC first, NFC first. We'll kind of just go through divisions. Like, we'll start with the North, talk, like, give our records. I'll give mine, you give yours. Then we'll just kind of generally talk about the division and then kind of just move on through there. Go through the AFC, go through the NFC. Then we'll do Wet Boys, and then we'll do playoffs into our Super Bowl prediction.
Sounds great.
The end of the show. But, Dave, let's start off with the AFC. We're going to do the AFC North to start. And I said I would go first, but I'm going to change it. I'll let you go first because that's usually what I do. I let you go first for everything here. What are your standings for the AFC North for 2020?
Starting at the bottom, going to the top. We got the Bengals coming in at 4-12. In third place, the Browns at 6-10. Second place, the Steelers at 8-8, and the Ravens capping it off with a nice and clean 12-4.
You want to know something funny?
What's that?
We're not far off here. For me, I've got starting at the bottom, the Bengals. You had them 4 wins. I've got them 2 wins. They're 2-14, same as they were last year. The Browns, you had them 6-10, right?
Correct.
I had them 4-12, so a 2-win difference there with both of those teams. Then the Steelers, I have them at 7-9, and then I have the Ravens at the top at a clean 13-3 on the season. Okay. Just 1 win less than they had a year ago. And the thing with this division for me is there's 2 constants in this division. The Bengals are going to be at the bottom. Like, the wins don't even matter in this case. Bengals are going to be, but like they could have 4 wins, 2 wins, 5 wins. They're still going to be last in the division. The Ravens are going to be at the top. They could have 13, 14, 12 wins. They're going to be the top. Those are the 2 constants in my mind.
I agree.
The question for me are the 2 teams in the middle. The Steelers, who not many people seem to be high on. You have them 8 wins. I have them 9 wins. So even we're kind of right in the middle on them.
And Roethlisberger is back, baby.
Roethlisberger is back. They did miss him last year. But the team I wanted to start with is the Browns, though. Like, they're a team that Johnny Manziel was like, hey, put all the pressure on me. We weren't good last year because I wasn't better. Baker Mayfield. I said Johnny Manziel. He is gone. Baker Mayfield. They both remind me of the same person, but Baker has been able to stay in the league a lot longer. With the Browns,
not be much longer after this year.
You think he's going to get canned if?
I think if he goes 6-10, his job's in question.
I mean, why wouldn't it be at that point? Like,
you have one of the best you have the best skill set players around you, and you just add a talent to your offensive line. If you can't win more games, I think it's cause for concern.
Well, I would even say with the Browns that this year might be in question for Baker Mayfield, because the thing you mentioned is they do have the weapons. They've got Nick Chubb. They've got the wide receivers of Landry and Odell. And like when you have Landry and Odell alone, it's like, hey, what are you doing? You have 2 of the prime wide receivers. They
picked up the tight end from the Falcons in this offseason.
Yeah, Austin Hooper and then David Njoku. Also, the reason why I say this year might be in question for Baker is Case Keenum's behind him. They have a guy behind him that, is he a for sure starter? Like, is he going to be what like Nick Foles might be in Chicago, where people are like, oh, he might challenge Trubisky for the starting job week 1. No, Chase ain't going to do that. But Chase has been around the league. He's a journeyman to where it's like, hey, buddy, you mess up, this team's going to turn to me because I have the experience, and they'll be quicker to dump you knowing that I'm behind you.
I mean, Baker was a number 1 overall pick. They're not going to be quick to dump him, in my opinion. That's why I think he's got the year to figure it out. If he doesn't end on a high note, it's going to be a sad offseason for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, because, I mean, the Browns, so much hype last year that this year it's like...
Again, on paper, fantastic team, but they just did not put it together.
What about the Steelers? They're another team where, like you mentioned, Big Ben back. Big Ben was injured last year.
That defense carried them so hard last year.
Is just adding Big Ben, though, enough to be like, yep, they're a playoff team. Like, boom, they're a 10-win team again.
Have you seen Big Ben?
I did. Today I was watching a scene from Dark Knight Rises, and I forgot the Steelers were the Gotham Rogues in that.
Ryan Ford out there returning a punt or kickoff. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, all he's done since he's coming to the league is fucking win games. He is good at football. He is a great quarterback. I get the whole like retire, not retire. Now he's got his mind on the game. You saw, the statements have come in from this offseason.
2019 was a rough year.
Really shouldn't have gotten leaked to the public from his church group, but whatever. Mind's on the game now. Focused, laser focused from Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm going to say this is the most crucial year out of the recent history for the Steelers because Big Ben is kind of the lone one that has stayed, where many people asked when you had the killer bees out there, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Big Ben. Everyone was kind of like, it's sort of this. I want to say it's sort of the same thing.
Fucking saint.
What?
What came out of the killer bees is what we've learned in the years post that's, is Mike Tomlin is a saint. How he dealt with the egos in that locker room and didn't put somebody's head through a wall.
And won games and won a Super Bowl with them?
Yeah, kudos to him. Great head coach, underrated.
Yeah, but I mean, with me, it's kind of like I think of like Seattle with Russell Wilson in a way where they were like, well, now that like all the defensive, that was more of like now all the defensive pieces and the defensive leaders are gone. Can Russell Wilson carry this team on his own? This is that, but like with the offense. Antonio Brown's not there. I know you still got Juju. Juju's a great receiver.
Arguably as good. He's not the same style receiver as Antonio Brown is.
Yeah, but he's a quality number one is what I'm saying. Like you're not going to question that.
Yeah.
James Conner as a running back has kind of come up to be like, okay, we don't have to miss Le'Veon to where
they really don't.
The question is, can Big Ben do it on his own kind of a thing? I think he can. I think this team has the tools to be a wild card team. Now the question is, do they have enough to shock the world and kind of upset the Ravens? Both you and I both have the Ravens number 1, 12-4, 13-3. Like, do the Steelers have enough to get past the Ravens, or were the Ravens just a situation of like, hey man, it was a great season for Lamar, but this year's a new year, or is Lamar going to take another step and it looks like, okay, they're going to solidify themselves as the team to beat in the North?
We'll wait and see. I mean, here's the thing. Even if Lamar gets better, the team may not have as many wins. That's the crazy thing with the NFL. Individual players can progress, but there are some games you're not going to be able to win regardless of how good you're playing because it's a team sport. And some guys might have it up here, some guys might have down here. Same for the week, same for the day. I mean, it's just how it goes. Yeah,
and I mean, receiving-wise, like Miles Boykin and Marquise Brown, younger guys to lead Hollywood Brown, who is the cousin of AB? Cousin of AB. And really like the other question to me, it's not really Lamar Jackson, it's Mark Ingram, because like even maybe I was thinking about this and I don't have to worry about this because the fantasy league I have him in is taking a break this year because they like to do a lot of stuff like in person, like the draft and stuff. So they're like, because of COVID, we're not going to do the league. So I don't have to worry about Mark Ingram like I would have if there was a league because he's my main running back. The thing is, like, last year, he did really good. Better than anyone expected him to. Like, can he keep that up as he gets older? Or was it just like a, hey, new system. He's in the AFC now. Those AFC teams aren't used to seeing him. The NFC teams were like, is it a one-hit wonder from Ingram?
No, clearly their offense was predicated around the run game, whether it was Ingram carrying or Lamar Jackson carrying the ball. You have to keep them both accounted for at every down. So I think he'll continue on his way.
And then the last thing, we got to give him love. Joe Burrows. If you are a Bengals fan, Dave,
give him 2 wins. You said they're literally not getting better after getting the best player in the draft.
Just by
they're literally not getting a game better.
Just because you get a quarterback sometimes doesn't mean you get more wins.
Not just a quarterback, which is the most impactful position in the NFL, upgrading over. And Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket, had lost his power. They also added other pieces in this draft. They did not have a bad draft by any means. They had a couple great picks. I think that they are going to get a couple more wins out of this than you got down for them. But we'll see. I'm not writing this Bengals team off.
The thing I was going to say is, like, if you're a Bengals fan, though, what's your expectation for this team? Because obviously they're not going to be a team that challenges for the playoffs.
Y'all still losing a ton of games, one way or the other. It's just how good is Joe Burrow? That's the game plan.
How good does he look as a rookie? Because he's pretty much I'm trying to think, out of the rookie quarterbacks this year, he's pretty much the only one that it's like not in question, that he's just being handed the keys to
yeah. Yes,
or like we see with Tua, it's like, oh, well, Tua's probably not going to start week one.
We'll see.
Fitzpatrick.
I might have a surprise for you on the Dolphins there.
I can't wait for it, but I may have a surprise for you here. And I know he might not be watching in Twitch, but I hope he watches this VOD if he is not. Our boy Shane O'Mac, because I'm going to have a surprise with his favorite team. But Dave, moving to the AFC South, this is always a division that's kind of like,
three teams very close. One team not very close at all.
It's the toughest division in the AFC. There, I said it.
And I have got a top-heavy division.
Give it to me, Dave. Give it to me.
Just get out of the way. The Jaguars suck. They're 3-13.
Wow.
Gardner Minshew is a great player, but this team is full of discourse. I believe that their running back hates the organization.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there are several pieces that want to be traded out. I think they're still a rebuilding team, and they will struggle this year.
Okay.
I've got the Titans at 10-6. I've got the Texans at 11-5, and I have the Colts at 12-4. I believe. I believe in the polo tie. Sign me up. This Colts team is my sleeper team.
Mm-hmm.
The Bolo, I believe.
I hate you. I hate you so much. You want to know why? You want to know why, Dave? So I've got the Jaguars in last place. I agree with you. But you have them 13-3. I'm going a little bit
3-13.
I'm sorry, 3-13. I'm going a little bit more optimistic. 5-11. 5-11. Still bad, but not that bad. The Texans, we'll get into them first probably. I have them 7-9. I'll say that when we get into it. I've got, just like you, I've got the Titans at 10-6. They're going to be a good football team. Yeah. And my number one team, Dave, get me a fucking Bolo because I'm on the Bolo train.
Yeah.
The Colts at 13-3. The Colts at 13-3. They are going to wreck the league this year. I'll get into it. I will get into it. But I want to start with the Texans because that's kind of where the most discrepancy was.
That's a shocker to hear that you have the Texans.
Because you have them 10-6, right?
I have the Texans at 11-5.
11-5.
I have them edging out the Titans.
Like, here's my question with the Texans is, so they've got Deshaun Watson. He was good.
He's excellent.
He is really good.
The plays we watched him make in the playoffs last year, I can't think of 5 quarterbacks better than him.
But here's my problem with it is injuries. This is a team that will need to stay perfectly healthy. Brandon Cooks, injury history. David Johnson, injury history. Yeah, they bring in Randall Cobb. Yeah, they have Will Fuller. Hey, Will Fuller also has some injury history. This is a team that
a boomer bust.
They need to stay healthy. They have the weapons. I know they gave up DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, D-Hop. And that was the worst trade in the existence of trades. And their fucking coach / GM should never be allowed the keys to anything to make decisions in his life anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Privilege is revoked.
Because, I will say, there were some games in here that, if I had that, they could be switchable. And if they're switchable, they're 10-6.
You stick to you.
Yeah, no.
I believe in
I'm just,
your opinion. Don't.
I'm just saying the reason why I have them 7-9 is late in the year, because if I think injuries are going to happen, I think this team's going to get hit with the injury bug early if it does. The games that that I have going losses that could be wins. Jaguars, I have them splitting because the Jaguars, I think when you're playing in Jacksonville, there's always a chance for Jacksonville to maybe get a win against you.
Oh, because that dumb heat and humidity.
The dumb heat and sometimes, especially if it's a Thursday night game against Jacksonville and the Titans.
Minshew mania.
The Minshew. No, but if it's the Jaguars versus the Titans on a Thursday night game, anything can happen. It'll probably be 7-9. Will be the final score of that game because those Thursday night games between those two teams are usually never good. I got the Lions beating them, but also it's because I didn't want to make the Lions go 0-16 because I don't think anyone's going to go 0-16 this year.
What?
I'm saying they're not. Like, I didn't want.
That alludes to the fact that you feel the Lions are going to go 1-15.
They're not going to be good. I'll tell you that. And then like week 14 against the Bears in Soldier Field, I think will be interesting because I think at that time, Nick Foles, the champ, is starting at quarterback. I know I did the Aaron Rodgers belt for Nick Foles, but like
about that.
Like those are some games.
Just say the statue, the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Got that statue in Philly. Got that right? He got a statue in Philly after winning that Super Bowl. With me, I question the Texans' health. I do. I truly I just question their health if they can stay healthy.
I respect opinion. I think you're 100% correct. Mm-hmm. If they are a team that gets bit by the injury bug, they're fucked. Yeah. They're out and out fucked. But when things click for Deshaun Watson, he is on another level. And again, as a Bears fan, it hurts me to say, but holy shit, is he such a good quarterback. He can make plays happen. He can extend plays. He can make all the throws. Like there's not a weapon in that arsenal that he can't just call upon at any given time.
Yeah. And the other team, like the Titans, I think we'll go into them next they're a team for me is this team, they shocked the world last year. No one expected them to get as far as they did. Derrick Henry really had I'm going to say big year out of nowhere.
Big year. The man was a fucking monster.
Yeah,
no one that big should run that fast.
Didn't expect that.
Some laws and some physics and some nature laws. Like defensive players having to try to go up against him. I'm sorry. Like the highlight of, oh God, who was it? Let's say it doesn't leave my mind. Him using a blocker, the guy who just got dropped by the Ravens.
Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas as a blocker for for himself. That memory will never leave my mind. Is Derrick Henry literally manhandling him and using him to block another Ravens player? Like that was just,
And both you and I seem to be on the same page here with them too.
I think they're a very good team. I think as far as teams go, you have a very stable core. You've got good wide receivers up and coming. I think the running back is excellent. I think Tannehill is a great quarterback who's put into a good situation with good offensive coordinators. He's going to make smart throws. He's not going to lose them any games. And I think that their defense, it's not the top of the league, but it's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, they did lose an offense. Their offensive line gets a little bit worse here, which is why I am downgrading them down to 10-6. Actually, I don't even remember the record from last year. I feel bad if they were
10-6.
Okay, so they were 10-6.
They were exactly the same. That's why with me, I was 10-6.
I got better. Couple guys they lost out on. I think they stayed 10-6.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And we both, the Jaguars, us, I don't think we need to go far. I feel bad in these because it's some of the bad teams. It's
someone has to lose.
You're not someone has to lose, and it's
you're just a franchise. I love Gardner Minshew. The man has the personality and the mustache to be a star in the league. He had an incredible touchdown to turnover ratio last year, and I think they can keep that going. And it's just a matter of the fact that it seems they're still in sell mode, and that's what I'm afraid of. I think that this team is going to lose pieces throughout the season, and that's my fear.
But Dave, it's time to gush. And the reason why it's time to gush is there is no team in this league I am more excited to see this year than the Indianapolis Colts, because it's not even because of the Colts as a team. It's because of Phillip Rivers being their quarterback. And the reason why I say that is this was a team that has talent. They have T.Y. Hilton. They have a young Paris Campbell who has speed at that wide receiver position. They have Marlon Mack, who's a solid running back. They have Jonathan Taylor, who they drafted this year, who some are saying within the Colts universe, there are some fans saying that he might even start or should start over Marlon Mack. I think they'll use both of them evenly. Both of them will be threats, a running back by committee, but even Hines, You can't eat like their third string running back will get some meaningful touches. And the reason why I'm so excited about this team, the defense is good also. It's because of Phillip Rivers, because the thing that I've hated about Phillip Rivers' career is I feel like he gets shit on for not being as good as the other quarterbacks in the league, where everyone goes, oh, well, Phillip Rivers, he's okay, but what does he want? It's like, hey, guys, most of the time Phillip Rivers doesn't make the playoffs. It's not because of him. It's because of the defense. It's because of the special teams. Like, there was one year, SB Nation did a video on it. It's like 2 years old, I think, where they said there was 1 year where the special teams alone lost the Chargers 6 games. 6 games, and they didn't make the playoffs because of
Rivers
it.
put them in position to tie or win games, and they had a horrid year out of their kickers.
And like, I feel like this is the year for Phillip Rivers.
He's got offensive weapons. You didn't even mention our boy T.Y.
I did. I said they got T.Y.
I feel like you skipped
Campbell.
I feel like you skipped her. You went straight to Campbell. You went straight to
I
Paris
really
Campbell.
like Paris Campbell, I'll be honest. I like his speed.
T.Y. Hilton, the fact that he has been double teamed for every single possession they've ever had in the last 5 years, and he's still getting it done. So, yeah, great offensive line, good defense, great tacklers on that defense, actually. And yeah, I think this will be the year where Phillip Rivers doesn't have to will his team into positions to win games. Like, I feel like he'll be in a great position. He won't be making those bad throws for interceptions because he's trying to force things to happen. Like, that's the thing that killed him. When you look at Phillip Rivers, the knock on him can always be, well, look at the interception numbers. Well, that's because he's literally trying to one-man will a game into a victory.
Yeah.
Like, he will take every throw on the field. He's got a cannon for an arm still, and he is not afraid of any defense. Short memory, too. Short-term memory. That shit does not faze him at all. He will throw a pick, get right back out there, and throw again without any fear. I love him.
Well, and the game that I even, like, it pops into my head is, let me see. It's the one against the Lions from last year where it was 13-10, and it's like, for example, it was the first quarter even, where it was they go down, they score a touchdown. On the next play, the defense looked horrible on that next drive. And it was like the entire game, it was like, are you guys trying to help Phil win this game? Because Phil doesn't look bad out there. It's
Don't call him Phil. He's not a Phil.
He's a Phillip.
He's Phillip Rivers.
I'm so excited for this team. I can't wait. Like, please, Phillip Rivers, do not let me down.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm overhyping the Colts, but it's a hype train that
they had a really good team last year. And then you add in an upgrade at the quarterback position. You add in additional versatility on the defense. You add in a dynamic back. Like, everything on paper points at them getting a lot better. So that's why I'm with you, man. I'm glad we got the same mental game going. You thought you were going to shock the world here.
I thought I was. Well, usually, I'm usually doing
not so fast.
I'm usually doing these with Mark, and I'm usually the hot-headed, like, crazy prediction one, but it's nice to see someone else is buying the Colts like me, and it's not just a Colts fan thing.
Well, let's see what happens in the East.
That's what I was going to say. The AFC East, you may have a surprise here. We
have a surprise here.
We will not, basically, we'll just get right into it. Basically, what do you got in the AFC East?
I got the Jets coming in at the bottom of the barrel. I love Sam Darnold, but Adam Gase is a doofus.
What record?
That is 5-11.
Okay.
5 wins, 11 losses. I understand that Sam Darnold looked good last year for the couple of games he got to play. They literally have no wide receivers on this team. Like, he's throwing to nothing and nobody.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me. So this Jets offense under Adam Gase, I have fears. I think he needs to be removed from all positions that involve football and get a new job. That's what's best for the Jets. I've got the Patriots at 8-8.
Okay.
I'm not buying in all of the hype of the Cam Newton. I understand that Cam Newton is Cam Newton, and he is something new. But this Patriots team has lost so much of their team in the last year. Like, their defense is a shell of itself. Their offense has lost I mean, Tom Brady, Gronk wasn't there last year, so I can't minus that off, but they've lost coordinators, they've lost talent, they've lost captains, they've lost veterans.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too much. They're 8-8. I think they're a mediocre team.
Yeah.
You got the Dolphins at 9-7.
That
and
one's
then I got
shocker.
the Bills at 10-6.
So
Dolphins seems good.
We're not far off, except for the Dolphins, and you're not gonna like my Dolphins prediction, Dave. You're just ain't gonna like it. They're at the bottom.
No.
Do you want to know how many wins they have?
How many wins are you putting in? Get! I'm a drop stream.
No.
Get out of here.
No, because I'm looking at my schedule for what I have for them, and some games.
I'm gonna click on the Dolphins.
Some games I could flip that I will say could be wins, but yet again, the thing that I do, since we're not going through like every schedule, is sometimes I'll be like, this team is not going to be a 1-15. Like, I always end up with a 1-15 team, and I go, they're not going to be 1-15. I got to find them at least 2 or 3 more wins, depending on margin.
I just wing it, and then whatever the scores are at the end, that's what it is. I don't even look at records. I go truly blind.
I just, at the end, I'm like, they're not going to be 1-15. And the games that could flip, week 2 against the Bills in Miami could definitely be a Miami one, but I have it going to Buffalo. Like, I have them going 2-2 off the start. It's just that
I do too.
Denver and Mile High, that game's going to be iffy. The Charger game will be iffy because what do the Chargers look like this year? Will it be Herbert starting by 7? Will it be Tyrod Taylor still starting if he even has the job week 1? The week 9, I went with the Cardinals only because I couldn't have them go 0-16. And maybe I'm a little higher on Kyler Murray than some.
0-16?
No,
the Cardinals you just said?
No, I said I can't have them go that. I can't have them be that bad.
Them not winning games.
I mean, we'll get there.
Okay,
we'll get there.
Okay.
And then the other shocking one that you would be like, no way, is I've got Cincinnati beating them week 13. Because you
got them beating the Raiders. What the shit?
The Raiders can in Las Vegas, that could be a toss-up game.
What have they done? What have they proven? Nothing from nobody.
I think the Raiders are good enough to beat the Dolphins. Are the Raiders good enough to make the playoffs? Probably not. But
9-7 Dolphins, baby. I don't know what the Dolphins whatever is, but 9-7.
I have a feeling that Ryan
Tagovailoa, they have a great coach, they have an excellent defense, and they've got enough offensive weapons to win some game.
And that's the thing where
I think they got professionals, man.
I feel like the one thing I know about the Dolphins for sure, Ryan Fitzpatrick will start. They'll go 2-2 off the bat. I have them beating the Patriots week 1, making a statement.
Wow. I wouldn't have them do that.
Ryan Fitzpatrick comes out and makes a statement. So they go 2-2. They struggle the next 2 against the Niners and the Broncos. At that time, Ryan Fitzpatrick looks really bad. Really bad. A ton of interceptions. And people go, all right, is it time? Is it time?
Then I have Tua go on a tear.
See, and that's the thing. I don't have Tua come in yet. I have the... Fuck, I got to pull up their schedule again because I
got Tua win.
Because they've got the Chargers after the...
6.
They've got the Chargers after that Denver game, right? It's a bye and then the Chargers?
No, their bye is later.
Okay.
They've got Denver into Chargers, Rams, Cardinals, Jets, bye week, Jets.
It's either after the Charger game or probably after the Ram game. Fitzpatrick gets canned because 4 losses in a row. We can't have it. Tua comes in and either Tua looks good, but they lose games, or Tua looks really good and they're winning games. That's the thing. I don't think Tua's going to look bad, but I think
Tua looks good, and I think they're going to win a lot of games, man.
I don't know if the win-loss record is going to will properly reflect what this team has on paper.
I'm in on the Dolphins. I got your back.
The other team, the Jets, to me, they're a team that I think they're the one in this division where it's not a lot to say because it's all on Sam Darnold in my mind.
How are they supposed to score points?
I agree with Le'Veon Bell.
Who's going to catch the ball?
That too. Like,
name their number 1 and 2 wide receiver. You can't.
I mean, don't they have Achua? He was injured last year. Achua, I know he's the number 1. Here, I'm gonna pull.
Is that a sneeze?
No, that's his name, Achua.
I know. Guy's being cute. I think they got Hogan.
They do. They've got Hogan. Do you know who else they have?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. He's literally throwing.
They have a wide receiver from Washington.
Cool.
Jamison Crowder.
Yeah, no, he's like a number 4 wide receiver. He was number 3 wide receiver like 2 years ago.
And then they have Brashard Perriman. So like Achua's not even on this team. So like they don't have the strongest wide receiving core.
They have the weakest. Can you name a worse wide receiving core in the NFL?
No, I'm trying to put a positive. I'm trying to put like a positive spin on it.
Because you think Sam Darnold under the tutelage of Adam fucking Gase is going to get wins, and that's where I'm confused.
I mean, what, you had them at 5 wins, right?
I got them with 5 wins.
I got them with 6. Like, I don't think they're going to be a good team. It all comes down, like I said, in my mind, is Sam Darnold going to be healthy even? Because even Le'Veon said he's got to be healthy if we're going to win games. Yep. If Sam Darnold ain't playing, they're not going to win. But
Sam Darnold's a very good Sam Darnold.
The real team that I wanted to touch on after the Dolphins are the Patriots. Looks like you and I are right there about the same. You have them 8-8. I have them 7-9. I've been talking up Cam Newton like he's the best thing since sliced bread. However, the losses on defense, I think, are not going to help this team, and they are not going to be as good. I'll say it right now. They'll miss the playoffs because 7-9 ain't getting you into the playoffs.
Correct. I also have them missing the playoffs. I love Cam Newton, but it's just they've lost so many pieces this year. It's not happening.
Mm-hmm. And then Buffalo, I just think they're a really good team. They're really well coached.
Keep on, baby.
Josh Allen's going to take a step, and they're not going to have any competition.
They'll complete more than 12% of them this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be huge for them. Love Josh Allen, love his development. I think the Bills team is dangerous as fuck. But yeah.
Last division, AFC West. What are your predictions for the West?
AFC West. I have the Chargers rocking the bottom at 4-12. Got the Raiders at 6-10. Got the Broncos at 10-6, and the Chiefs at 14-2. I refuse to give out a higher win total to the Chiefs.
So
14-2, and that's purely because I'm like, they're going to lose a random game. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even make sense. I can pick any game on the schedule.
Yeah,
any single game. I'm like, that one they're going to lose for 0 reasons. So that's why I feel.
So for me, the way I have this division going is you could just call it the Chiefs and then the rest.
Oh.
Because the Chiefs are the only team I have with a winning record. Oh, I have the Broncos in last. They're 5-11. Really? I have the Chargers in third. They're 6-10. And even maybe even at 6-10, I feel like I'm too high on the Chargers at 6-10. To where maybe, did I have the Broncos? Yeah, I have the Broncos splitting with them. So like, it's not like they're stealing. I have the Broncos splitting with the Chargers and the Raiders, because the Raiders are also 6-10. And then I've got the Chiefs at the top at 12-4. Like, this division to me is, the Broncos are what are you going to do with Vic Fangio and Drew Lock making his second year improvements?
Excellent. If you look at his stats from the end of 2019, he was a above average quarterback. He looked very good. They added talent in the running back position. They added talent on that offense. I mean, they're going to get guys back from injury on the defense. That was one of the big things that hurt them last year. I guess where do you think they're going to struggle? Because I think the addition...
Schedule. Like, the only loss I have for them that is like, okay, probably could go the other way is the Jets. Like, every other team I have beating them is like could they get a win? Yes, but my favorite would be the other way. The Titans, the Steelers, Tom Brady's Bucks. They play the Chiefs twice, which I don't have them beating the Chiefs at all. They play an Atlanta team that is vastly better than what they were last year. Have them splitting to the Chargers, splitting to the Raiders. The Saints, who's a really tough team. And then, like, Buffalo. I don't have them. Like, the only thing with the Buffalo game that helps them is it's in Denver. But, like, even that, I like Buffalo more than I like Denver. Like, their schedule might be too hard this year.
Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Cody White.
Oh, they're talented.
What is not to love?
They talented.
Added Melvin Gordon on this team. I want to say Ingram. They still have Philip Lindsay. Like, I feel like they've got the offensive weapons. They've got the defense is healthy right now. I don't buy it. I think they're a better team.
Like, they have the talent there, and that's why it's like, I'm thinking, I was like, when you said, I'm like, am I too low on the Broncos? Am I too low on them? Like, you made me question.
I mean, it's the whole thing is it's the initial opinion. That's why I love doing this like on my own, because I've got these preconceived notions in my team of like, I think he'll be this good. But then you also like have to toss up like, after watching the NFL for as long as we have, it's just like some of these games are just going to be kind of random shootouts.
Bingo.
Like, it's just going to be like, man, Drew Lock's going to throw 5 touchdowns and 400 yards and no picks that game. They're just going to win. It doesn't matter who's on the schedule. They just beat blank that game. But then on the other side, you're going to have the day where he's just off, throwing picks, making poor decisions.
Like I also mentioned, where it's like, could be like a Jaguar-Titan game, 7-9, Jaguars win. It's like, wait, what? We didn't expect that.
So, I'm sorry, the Chiefs you had at what? I just want to confirm.
12-4.
12, okay. You got them going down a little.
Like, I mean,
I struggled to find the losses. That's why I literally was like, dartboard the 2 losses.
I'll tell you my 4 losses.
Yeah,
I have them losing to Baltimore week 3 in Baltimore. I have kind of a upset game in Buffalo. I have Buffalo getting the better of them on the road. And then Tom Brady beats them in Tampa. Drew Brees beats them.
The Tampa Bay Gronkaneers.
And then the Saints beat them in the Superdome. Like, every one of their losses away from Arrowhead. I know that this year might not matter as much because there might not be fans there, but like still traveling, there's the whole thing of like they say, oh, but when you're playing at home, you get to sleep in your own bed. That's a lot better than sleeping in a hotel.
No flight, no bus, no nothing.
Are there going to be a lot of losses? No, but 4 is probably the max.
I think 4 is a lot for them. Honestly, like
they're good.
It's one of those teams where I look at them and I'm like, did they get better?
I got better.
I think they got better. I don't know if that means less losses, translation, but I do think that means they're still the best team in the NFL.
And Dave, before we move on into the NFC, let's do a quick little kind of intermission here. And our intermission is going to be Wet Boys. These are our soggiest of shooters, our dampest of dudes, moistest of men, and sometimes our mistiest of misses. Dave, I'm going to be honest. I forgot to preload the graphics pre-show. So what's going to happen, it's happened before. It'll show the last Wet Boy graphic we did, because it's been a while since we have done a Wet Boy graphic. And then I'll just change it on the spot. So we'll do a short intermission with Wet Boys. Who's your Wet Boy for this Friday, August 28th?
Bring up the slide, because Mr. Manny Machado, he had a double header, I believe. He had an excellent game 1, poor game 2, but that's okay. Okay, game 1, you were a dominant force. That's Bam Adebayo. He had a great game a couple days ago.
There you are. There's Manny Machado.
Yeah, Manny Machado. Like, this guy hits dangers. That's all that matters in the end. In the MLB, I feel like maybe it's because I'm a Sox fan, and like that's entirely our offense is just dingers.
Wasn't it?
But
the year you won the World Series, it wasn't. It was small ball.
It was small ball. We were bunting. We were playing the scrappy style. We were stealing.
It's the only time I knew, move the line, guys, move the line.
Everybody was contributing. There was not a guy on that team who had that, dominant power, and this year it's just all dingers, and I love it. So shout out to Manny Machado. He had a fantastic game 1. Credit to him. One of the top players in baseball. Good job.
So my Wet Boy is not going to be Javier Baez like it was a couple days ago. But Dave, I am sticking in the MLB, obviously, and I'm sticking in the division too. And my Wet Boy is Jesse Winker. And I kind of wanted to do a co-Wet Boys here, but I had to choose one of them. Yeah. Winker and Nicholas Castellanos of the Reds both had a great game 1 in their double headers, where Winker went 3 for 3, 2 home runs. And Castellanos went 3 for 3 with 1 home run. So they actually tore the cover off the ball with 3 combined home runs. But Winker had the most of them. So that's why I go with Winker for my wet boy. And then Dave, we have an interesting wet boy here. And the reason why I say interesting is because, so I'm going to vent a little bit here. Well, I mean, I gotta actually pull it in here and drag it out. So some of you may be saying, who the fuck is this? And this is Knight. He is from Top Esports, Tess. Yeah, and Soapy says it's about time. Here's my problem with this. And Soapy, I'm actually aggravated about this. I feel like this has been forced.
There was an agenda here.
There was an agenda. It's basically, to quote the Daniel Tosh, if you force me to eat my vegetables when I'm young, I won't like them when I'm older. That's what this feels like. Just like anal. That's where I was going, Dave. It felt forced, and if it's forced, it ain't gonna feel right. It doesn't feel right here. Like, to me, there has been an agenda the last few days. And Soapy, oh, shut up, you gave it to a golfer. Golf is a sport. Golf is a sport. Like, I'm sorry you don't like golf. I'm sorry.
So are esports.
Oh, my light bulb went out. One of my light bulbs went out. Oh shit, one of my light bulbs went out.
I'm on the side of the fact that I think sports are equal to sports. I think they put in
I'm not
more hours of practice a day than athletes do.
Not saying
it's just different because it's like, I think athletes are physical specimens in most cases that are in the like top 0.01%.
Mm-hmm.
I think esports athletes are people who put in, 20-hour days at a time playing the game they're going to dominate.
Yeah.
I would argue that a lot of esports athletes, their prime is so much smaller that they have to be so much better than the competition during that prime. And like, it is an intense world.
I'm not aggravated that we got our first E-boy. It's just the fact of, like I said, I feel like there has been an agenda here between Soapy and Philly Sean that they are like, they've tried for a full week to force this in to where it's like, great, you got your first E-boy, but don't even feel special.
I mean, Knight had a good series. He had an excellent game on Lucian, and they won the series. He closed out on Syndra, hit some key stuns. But still, at the end of the day, the LPL championship, is it a big deal? Yes. Is it a big deal to everyone? I don't know.
Yeah, like I said,
I'm really watching League of Legends on my second screen while we're doing this entire show.
Not upset we have an esports wet boy or an E-boy, as I'm calling them.
Call them E-boys, please.
But like I said, it felt forced. Like every single day was like, let me try to force this E-boy.
I vetoed one that was a minor leaguer.
You did.
I ain't playing that
Pookie
game.
Style, a little Pookie style. But Dave, we'll get on with our NFL predictions. Going into the NFC. Oh, my light bulb's back on. That was weird.
Welcome back.
Popped back on. Basically, see, my light bulb was like, fuck it. I'm not giving the E-boy respect either. So he's on now. But we're going to do the same thing. We're starting in the North, going through the South, then the East, then the West. Dave, I'll start with you, NFC South. How you got it rolling out?
The NFC South?
I mean,
we're just skipping.
NFC North. Okay. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I say best for first, right? Best for
always.
First.
Always. You gotta start off with the best.
I had the Lions rocking last place, 4-12. Matty Stafford being held up by pins and needles.
Okay.
Metal rods, all the above. I love that man. He's a warrior. I've loved him ever since his first year.
When he broke his shoulder.
Shoulders, go on. Put me back in. I'm going back in. I'm throwing the game-winning touchdown.
I rewatched that the other day, and the best is after it happened. Yep. Like at the end of the game, when people are coming up and like hugging him and shit, it's like, oh, please don't hug me. It hurts so bad.
Exactly. Like you can't hate that man. He is such a good guy. but the Lions suck, so they're in last place. I got the Vikings rocking a solid 8-8. I got the Bears with their 2-quarterback system being 9-7, and I got the Packers at the top. Unsurprisingly, Aaron Rodgers is mad and apparently has been dropping the suckets on his own team. 10-6. 10-6 after lighting up practice.
So you had the Bears at third or second?
9-7 in second place.
Okay. So a little bit different here, but we're not, again, Dave, we are not far off. Marginally, we are separated where I've got the Lions in last place. They're rocking a clean 3-13.
Not too far off.
I've got the Bears in third. I have them 6-10.
6-10?
Only because I think I think that Matt Nagy.
I demand satisfaction.
I think that Matt Nagy will force Trubisky to start early. They will not be successful early. They will then make the change to Nick Foles, and that's when more of the wins will start coming in, to where the end of the year, Bears fans will be saying, is Matt Nagy the right coach? Only because, is he making the right decision? Should have started Nick Foles earlier and not stuck with Mitch. And you know how Bears fans and Chicago fans are. They will jump on that bandwagon. I've got the Vikings at 10-6. Like I told you pre-show, I could see 8-8. Like 8 to 10 wins is my window here.
I have to ask a question.
Yeah.
Do you have the Vikings also eating 2 losses to the Bears because we own you and we have owned you for the past 3 years and you are our bitches?
I got 1.
Oh, that should be 2.
I mean, if I'm
you
going,
really own your ass.
No, I know.
Like, you might as well put a tattoo and say reserve Bears parking.
Dave's getting personal because I had the Bears at 6-10. Like, no, like
I am.
as
bad as we've been. We kicked the shit out of you year over year.
Can't say you haven't, but
and you got worse.
Like I always do in my predictions.
You got worse.
Like I always do in my predictions. I split between the Bears. I give you the respect, but yet again, I'm a fan, so of course I'm going to give my team the split.
I expect you as an analyst to do your due diligence.
I mean, I have a splitting with the Packers too, only because we play them week 1, and I think week 1
the Packers tough. I have no problem with that.
I'm just I know Bears, we've shit the bet against the Bears, but yet again,
for 3 years in a row.
Hey,
you haven't won a game.
Why not this year? Why not this year to change?
We got better
this year to change. Why not us? Why not us?
What part of that?
And then I've got the Packers at also 10-6. I had them at 13-3, but I switched things around. Like I do a preliminary one. I go, that's my predictions. And then like before the show, like 15 minutes or so, this one was more than that because I took a shower before the show. So maybe this one was like an hour before the show. I was like, no, I don't like that. I like retool things.
I don't give it a second thought. Everything's locked in. Week of, done.
I'm a second guesser, Dave. I will second guess them until we actually hey, it came out of my mouth. So I have the Packers winning the division at 10-6. And the thing with this division, the Lions obviously are going to be at the bottom. 3-13, 5-11, 4-12, whatever. They're going to be at the bottom. The Bears, my question for them is, we'll start with them. When does Nick Foles get his time to shine? Because I do not think Trubisky makes it through the whole year.
Bears win week 1. Bears win week 2. We lose to the Falcons. I think I got us upsetting the Colts, actually.
Really?
Then lose to the Bucks. And then it's the question. Because come Panthers week, I seriously think that we would have, by week 6, Nick Foles is our starter.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nick Foles can take us to the promised land from week 6. And he's going to lose a couple games. Saints, Titans, those are tough wins.
Mm-hmm.
Packers, again, same thing. Tough game. But you know what? It's okay. We're not making the playoffs at 9-7 even in though.
Yeah. And
9-7 is, I feel that's where our team deserves to be at because our defense is so gosh darn good.
Gosh darn. Frankly, they're good. I agree with you. So I've got 2-0 to start. Then they lose to Atlanta. Indy, I have a loss, but I'm super high on Indy this year. Tampa, I have a loss. And then week 6, because I don't think Foles is going to be in yet. That one could be a toss-up. Like, Carolina was a tough team for me, only because it's like they have Teddy Bridgewater this year.
What does that mean, Basil?
Yeah, what does it mean? Like, the team's not going to be good, but yet again, it was another situation of I can't have them at 0-16. How many wins can I squeak in for this team to where the Bears window, I will say, is between 6 to 9 wins. It's a little wider of a window. 9 is like perfect season. Like, everything went right for the Bears. 6 is like everything went wrong. I'm more on the
13 games in a perfect season. If Nick Foles our starter day one, we could win 13 games this season.
But he won't be. That's the problem. Like, even the Vikings. Like, do I want to be optimistic that my team will make the playoffs? Yes. But I don't think we will. And the only reason I don't is the NFC as a whole, and you will see this through my records.
Yep.
My prediction is that the NFC is going to be a bloodbath, where there are going to be, if I switch it over, just to give you a little example, my top 9 teams in the conference all have double-digit wins.
No, I don't have that.
Whereas in the AFC, it's only the top 5. So it's
my AFC is all double-digit wins,
okay.
Only in.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of good teams in the NFC, and there's going to be like, hey, we were a 10-win team, maybe even an 11-win team, and hey, we missed out. The West is going to be the West and the South really fuck everything up in that sense, and then the Packers. And the thing I want to ask about the Packers is, can Aaron Rodgers carry this team, and how far can he?
Yes, he's very good at football. He is the best quarterback in football outside of Patrick Mahomes. And even then, on some days, Aaron Rodgers is better than him. I think Aaron Rodgers has a new passion. I think drafting Jordan Love has pissed him off. And I think the team will continue to play really well. I expect him to have just an absolute dumb stats year. Like, he's throwing the long ball more in practice, which means, guess what? The long ball's back on the field. They're going to have healthy receivers. Good feelings for the Packers this year. And as a Bears fan, there's to say, but I acknowledge it that they're going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, they should be the front runner to win our division this year. Let's move on to the South, though. What is your records for the NFC South?
NFC South, I got the Panthers rocking the bottom club at 5-11. I've got the Falcons right next to them at 6-10. I got the Bucks at 11-5, and the Saints also at 11-5.
I'm a little perplexed only because I know what team I'm going to ask you about first. But for me, I'm in the same because you had Panther going bottom to top. Panthers, Falcons, Bucks,
same.
Yeah. So I agree with you on order. The order is exactly the same. I've got the Panthers in last, 3-13. I've got the Falcons in third at 11-5. I've got the Bucks in second at 13-3. And I've got the Saints at number 1 at 13-3. This division, to me, I think that I maybe got a little bit like the wins for the Bucks. I could see it maybe 11 wins, 12 wins. For the Falcons, maybe 10 wins, 11 wins. Like, I think every team except for the Panthers in this division will have double-digit wins. And like the Falcons, to me, was the one when you said it, I was like, all right, I'm a little confused because this is a team that, like, they have the pieces at wide receiver. They've got Julio and Ridley. They add Todd Gurley to this team. It looks like they have a plan for Todd Gurley on this team. And they have Matt Ryan, who is not one of the elite quarterbacks, but he's a good enough quarterback to where if he has weapons around him, can carry this team to a playoff.
What happened last year then?
Well, last year, Devonta Freeman was injured. They didn't have, Devonta Freeman was injured. I think Ridley will get better this year. Last year was kind of a little iffy of a year for him. This year, I think they got Laquan Treadwell, right? Laquan can catch balls, right? That's
hit the bed.
That's a
and
joke.
I feel like they're going to continue shitting the bed.
Okay.
If their defense is weak and you keep pointing at the offense, I'm going, that's not necessarily the problem. They did lose Austin Hooper, who was a big old safety blanket in terms of Matt Ryan's
but they picked up Hayden Hurst, who did well in Baltimore.
Well, Hayden Hurst is not Austin Hooper. Hayden Hurst is a great run I should say he's a great chipper out of the backfield. He feels like somebody who helps block really well. He can catch. Austin Hooper was a wide receiver in a tight end's body.
Yeah, but like now that they have Todd Gurley instead of
Gurley still sucks at catching the ball.
No, I mean like because of having Todd Gurley as your main back.
And we're going to count on the broken, hurt, wounded Todd Gurley.
They've said
as someone who took shots at injury-prone players before on the Texans, you can't speak up for Todd Gurley and say like, that healthy.
Has he had an injury history? Yes. Also, I feel like the Rams after that injury didn't use him right. I feel like what I'm hearing from the like Atlanta side of things, like they have a plan between 15 to 18 touches a game. We're going to give him this set of carries. And I wonder if like having Hurst, who like you said, isn't like Hooper in the fact of like he's not a pure receiver out there. Is it going to be then, hey, we have a more blocking tight end because we have a different running back behind. We don't have a kind of speed, more receiving back like Freeman could be, although you can hand the ball off to him and he'll hurt you even that way. But we have more of a, I don't want to say traditional style running back, but I kind of want to say a traditional style running back.
Yeah, Gurley's more traditional than Freeman was, but maybe it's because I got burned by Gurley in fantasy.
Yeah.
I just got no faith in him being healthy for the majority of the season. Even though when he is healthy, he is not the same explosive athlete that he was prior to those injuries. So I have very little faith in that Falcons team from not shitting the bed.
And then the other two, the Saints and the Bucks, I just think are easy to where it's like the Bucks and the Saints should be the locks.
Confident totals.
Yeah,
I feel like 11-5 is a safe number. It's over the Vegas numbers. I think Vegas had the Saints at 10.5 and the Bucks at 9.5.
Yeah.
If I remember right from this morning. So I've got them both over, but I don't think that they're by much. I think the Bucks are a team that has big weaknesses on their defense. I think that the Saints are a team that, honestly, it's one Drew Brees tweak away from losing a handful of games. And in this games last year, he was lucky to have a great backup. This year, he's got Jameis Winston, who best contribution for his career is a 30 for 30 that we're going to watch a 30 for 30 on.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the 13-3s, I admit, might be a overreaction, like a big stretch
I'd say
for them.
When's the last time in the NFL we've had this many high win teams where it's been like, I think you've got 5 teams winning more than 12 games?
I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5. 5 teams over 12. If we count 12, then it's 6.
That's an insane
No,
number.
if we count 12, then it's 7.
That's an insane number.
Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like this division, it is the Panthers will be in last. The Bucks and the Saints are going to battle it out for 1-2, and then the Falcons are the mystery team. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? Are they going to be in the middle? Only time will tell.
Yep.
To me, the most interesting division in the NFC, because this is the only division where I do not have. This is kind of like both Easts. I have a team at the top and then a bunch of teams under 500. What are your records for the NFC East, Dave?
I got the Washington shit show at 2-14.
Shit, 2-14.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Okay.
I've got the New York Giants at 5-11. I've got the Eagles rocking a steady 8-8, and I got the Cowboys eking it out at 9-7.
Okay. I'm not far off. I've got the Giants at 4-12. I've got then the Washington football team at 5-11. Then the Cowboys at 7-9. I don't think that the Cowboys are going to click a lot this year. I think this is going to be a not so bueno year for the Cowboys. Yeah, and then I've got the Eagles at 10-6.
Mike McCarthy is the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
They only added in the best wide receiver prospect that was available. Their defense is very good.
They have
their
promise.
Offense is very good. Where is their struggle going to come from this season?
Yet again,
you have them being a 7-9 team.
Yet again, it comes down to schedule for me. Where
I guess when you have so many teams winning 16 games a year, it's tough to have the other teams who are in the middle of the pack win even.
For me, it's like I've got the Falcons beating them. I've got the Seahawks beating them in Seattle. I've got the 49ers beating them. Baltimore beats them. And then, like, in their division, I've got them splitting everybody. Like, maybe they, like, because I've got I think that Washington and especially New York.
Washington going 0-6 in division. Yeah. I don't think they win shit.
I think Washington can give them a little bit of a run in Washington, but even that game, it's like I can see the Cowboys winning it.
Why is Washington higher for you than the Giants? I think the Giants have a more complete offense and defense right now. I like Daniel Jones' progression. I think Saquon Barkley is the best player on both teams, and I think that he is the most dangerous weapon out there.
Yeah.
And honestly, Dwayne Haskins has not impressed.
I mean, in my mind, the Washington split was more of like a, because like you mentioned, there are some games in my predictions I try to do like, okay, there's got to be a margin for error a little bit where it's like, yet again, do I feel like this team might win? Yes. But you know what? There might be a game or two that kind of go away we didn't expect.
I feel like Dak Prescott's backup and Andy Dalton could beat the Washington Redskins. I mean, with like the twos. I think the twos on the Cowboys could beat the Redskins in Washington.
Like I said, it's the home games. I usually I stress more on the upset
this year. Really, like it instead of being I think it was actually I'd love to get the numbers on that last year, the home versus away advantage. But no, I literally think the Cowboys could throw the number twos out there and beat the Washington Redskins.
But like even with that win, if we're stressing on that.
That's
They're still an 8-8 team for me. Like
I got them at 9-7, and that's closer. I can't imagine them not being a 500 or above team with the amount of talent and money that is invested in that roster.
Yeah, it's going to depend on.
I think I like the Mike McCarthy ad. I think their offense is very good.
I feel like this year people, not us, because we don't have them like 10 wins and higher. I feel like some people are going to hype up the Cowboys this year just because they're the Cowboys, but that schedule is just so tough. And then, like, the Eagles, the thing that I really like about them
How many games healthy?
Well, how many games healthy?
Carson Wentz, how many games are you going to actually play this year?
But the thing I want to mention about the Eagles, and I can't wait, tonight I have a fantasy draft, and I cannot wait to draft Jalen Reagor as one of my wide receivers. I think this kid... I know I haven't done a fantasy video in a while, but if you are looking for somebody who's going to be a sleeper this year from that rookie class, if you got a dynasty league and you haven't drafted already, take Jalen Reagor because he's going to pay dividends.
Really?
Like I am all in on Reagor. I see the stuff on Twitter. He's working hard. He's got the speed. He's got the ability to, he's a deep ball threat for that team.
Okay.
And I think that's what he's going to develop into with the Eagles, and we're going to see it this year.
I mean, Reagor's kind of close to Aguilar, and, that guy can't catch the ball, so I'm a little concerned.
The other thing that I feel is, so I follow him on Twitter, and I just feel like with the stuff that he tweets, he's got a chip on his shoulder. Okay. And usually those players that come in with a chip on their shoulder, usually it's like, all right, watch out for them. They might get some shit done this year.
Has got a great rep with Carson.
I mean, that's the thing. It's
that you got to see that. Like, are they following each other on Twitter, on the gram?
Gram? Are they liking each other's posts?
I'd say if they're not liking each other's posts on the gram, I'm not in on him.
I mean, and
Carson Wentz needs to be like his BFF. And if they're not, then I'm like, I don't know who's the guy.
And I feel like he's going to get targets too because, you think about their receivers. Alshon, Deshaun Jackson, Zach Ertz, and Dallas Goedert. You can't double team them all. You can't double team them all, Dave. You double team Alshon and Zach Ertz. It's like either Reagor or Jackson might get open.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he's Deshaun Jackson's backup.
I mean, right now they have him as the slot. Like he can play the slot for him with his speed. Okay, he can play outside for him.
Threat, and that's Deshaun Jackson.
He's got
D-Jackson go. He is go route captain.
Let's be honest though, D Jackson, Could get
Little
injured.
older.
He fucked me
Little
last year with an
injury
injury. He
Yep,
fucked
yep.
me last. Like, I love it too because I'll never forget it. Brandon texted me because I was playing him, and he goes, "Man, Deshaun Jackson's out, man." And I go, "Yeah, but looking at this game, as long as he doesn't die," it was him and Alshon. Like, as long as they don't die, I win because I had both of them, and they both got flipping injured. They both got injured, and I got 0 points between them. I lost by 1. I was like, as long as they don't die, but. We got one more division to go, Dave. NFC West. How do you got it playing out?
More like NFC Best. I got the Rams rocking a steady 6-10 at the bottom.
Ooh.
I've got the Cardinals. No, not the Cardinals. I got the 49ers at 9-7. I have the Cardinals at 9-7. And I have the Seahawks at 12-4. I'm a big buyer on the Cardinals stock.
You've got the Niners at
6-10.
The Niners.
The Niners.
At 6-10. And you have the Rams at 6-10 too?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Rams 6-10.
Yes.
Niners 9-7. Cardinals 9-7. Seahawks 12-4.
Okay. We agree on one. I think this is the only time we've had
Seahawks are the best team in this division.
So I've got the Cardinals. I've got the Cardinals at 6-10. Could they be a 7-9 team? I would say that's
I got them as a 9-7 team.
9-7. Same thing as the Bears, I'll say here. 6-9, 9 being the really high end,
they have
6
an
being the low end.
explosive quarterback who's getting better, and they added the best wide receiver in football.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what to expect.
They got a sack machine in Chandler Jones.
And that's it. I don't know. I don't know if I should buy into them or not buy in. That's why I'm like 6-10. The Rams I'm confused with because even when I made these predictions, I was like, are they like they had a down year last year?
I don't love them, and I think they got worse. I think they're fucked with money.
Here's the thing: I got them at 11-5, but 2-4 in the division.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, how does that even work?
11-5, 2-4 in the division. So the division they'll beat them up, but they'll still get 11 wins. They're gonna miss the playoffs too.
I guess what am I missing on the Rams? Because I saw them as a down year last year, and then I didn't see any additions. They're gonna help the win total next year.
I just like the loss of Todd Gurley is going to be interesting to see what it means for that team because even the team, like I said, didn't play well record wise last year. But like I think about the weapons, I think about Jared Goff, the Sean McVay offense, and even like having Aaron Donald on that defense to anchor it. I think the Rams can get wins. It's just will they be able to get them? That's why I'm like. It's almost like the Patriots. Like Rams should be good. Rams good, right? Rams good.
Rams should be good, but I can't tell you on paper how they got better, and I don't know if Sean McVay's offense with Jared Goff is for real.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even looking to see like tight end. It's still like Tyler Higbee's their guy. Their running backs now are. Darrell Henderson, they picked up Cam Akers in the draft, but Malcolm Brown is their starter. Like that's
heavy committee.
Like not having Todd Gurley, how is that going to
they didn't have
affect them?
Last year, they were afraid. Like he was gone, and then they were afraid to use him when he was there, and he didn't look especially great when he was there. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know how much better they're going to get. I think you're very optimistic on them. Like the fun team, obviously.
Well, to finish out, because I didn't give my top two. The Seahawks at 12-4, finishing second. And at 13-3, Dave, the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to be just as good. Just as good.
13-3 now.
Just as good as last year. They are like it's them and the Seahawks to me that are going to fight for this division. Like
I got the entire division going 3-3 against each other. The entire division is splitting.
What don't you like about the Niners? What changed in a year?
I just think the Seahawks have gotten better. I think health on the Seahawks is a big deal. And if they can keep it healthy, I have no issues with Russell Wilson. Love Kittle. Love the Niners. I think they got some great effort out of our Oster. Great guy back there. I know that's not his actual name, but our Oster on the back of that jersey.
More like Moster.
I'm sorry, Moster.
It's weird because it ends with a T, but it's got your name in it.
Yep. But yeah, no, 49ers are a very good team. I just think the Seahawks are a better team.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think the Seahawks are the best team in the NFC.
Well, and let's move on. Let's get into some playoff stuff. And before we do, let's give our kind of 1 through 7, just so people can know how these teams seeded out. So, Dave, first give us your AFC, then your NFC, your 1 through 7 for the playoff seedings.
Sure thing. With the first seed of playoffs in the AFC, obviously it's the Chiefs. They're the dopest. 2 is the Ravens. 3 is the Colts. 4 are the Bills. 5 Texans. 6 Titans. 7 Broncos.
NFC?
Yeah, we go NFC.
Yeah, you can just go right in and we'll do both of them.
NFC is the Seahawks at the number 1, the Saints at 2, Pack at 3, the BOIZ at 4, Bucks at 5, Cardinals at 6, and the 49ers at 7.
We're not too far. Like, there's a couple where we don't have certain teams in at the bottom, but we're kind of similar in a way. Like, AFC, I've got Colts at 1, Ravens at 2, Chiefs at 3, the Bills at 4, Titans at 5, Steelers at 6, and then the Texans sneak in at 7 and 9 with the 7th overall in the playoffs. Then I have in the NFC the Saints at number 1, the Niners at number 2, the Packers at 3, the 49ers, the Eagles at 4, the Bucks at 5, the Seahawks at 6, and then the Falcons at 11 and 5 sneak in with the 7th pick. So how we'll do this, Dave, is on YouTube, I'm going to put up a nice graphic that has the playoffs in it. We will do yours, then we will do mine. So you're going to start with your wild card round. You're going to take us through, like, for example, you've got...
There's no wild card round. What are you talking about?
WC. It's week WC. It's wild card divisional championship game still.
Yeah, I don't even call it wild card anymore because it's not really wild card.
All right. The first round.
It's the first round of playoffs now because it's literally all games are happening.
Yeah, I mean they still call it wild card. That's why I was like,
it's bullshit and they're wrong.
The first round. So you'll go.
Got Texans over the Bills.
Yep.
I've got the Colts over the Titans, and I've got the Ravens over the Broncos in the AFC.
Mm-hmm. You're just gonna keep going all the way to your Super Bowl and stop at. Don't pick a Super Bowl winner.
At the NFC side of things, I have the Bucks upsetting the Cowboys. I got the Pack over the Cards, and I got the Saints over the Niners. Brings us to the second round. Colts versus the Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Texans versus the Chiefs. Again, I am favoriting the Chiefs. On the NFC side, Packers versus the Saints. I'm going to take the upset in the Pack. And then I've got Seahawks versus Bucks. I am leaning towards the Hawks. So that means my championship week looks like Ravens versus Chiefs. A traditional 1 versus 2 matchup. The matchup we all wanted to see.
Wasn't that the matchup from last year?
That's the matchup we all want to see. They didn't actually play each other last year, I don't think.
I thought they played each other in the championship round last year. No, they didn't. The Titans spoiled it. You're right. The Titans spoiled it.
Titans beat the Patriots. Yeah. Titans went in.
Titans did spoil it and beat the Ravens.
Yep. So I do have 1 versus 2 matchup. I am taking Chiefs because I'm no dummy. And then I've got the Packers versus the Seahawks in the NFC Championship. Packers yet again falling short in the championship round. Suck it, Pack.
For a second, I thought you were going to do what I almost did and have the Packers go to the Super Bowl.
Chiefs, Seahawks Super Bowl.
All right, we'll get to that Super Bowl in a second. Let me go through mine. Starting in the first round, AFC, the 4-5 matchup, Bills versus Titans. I got the Bills winning at home. Really boring first round for me in the AFC, where all the home teams are going to win. Yeah, all the home teams. Where Texans, Ravens, the Ravens will move on. Steelers, Chiefs will move on. Nothing kind of changes there. However, in the NFC, I got one little spicy one.
Little wrinkle?
One little wrinkle. So 4-5, I'll just start with it. 4-5 in Philly.
Okay.
I've got Tom Brady and the Bucks beating the Eagles. Then I have Seahawks, Packers, and Lambeau. Part of me wanted to go with the Seahawks, but I really like what I think Aaron Rodgers is going to go on a little bit of a tear this year. I got the Packers just winning in Lambeau. And then Falcons, Niners in San Fran. I've got the 49ers moving on there. Yep. So then the Colts, they were on a bye. They rested. They host the Bills. I got the Colts winning easily.
Yep.
Ravens, Chiefs in the second round, Dave. The match we all want to see. And I've got the Chiefs winning. In Baltimore, too. That's going to be in Baltimore. Chiefs with the win.
Glad we can agree on that.
Then I've got 49ers hosting the Green Bay Packers. And Packers couldn't beat them last year. Guess what? They can't beat them this year. 49ers sweep the Packers this year in the regular season and the playoffs. And then I have the NFC matchup we all want to see, Dave. Ding, ding, ding. Round 3. Drew Brees hosting Tom Brady. And originally, Dave, I had the Saints win this game. But I changed it. I went against my gut. Tom Brady walks in, says, hey, the Saints the last 2 years have not been a good, 2 years ago, probably should have won that Rams game. They should have won that Rams game. But they haven't been a great playoff team to me. And I know Jake's going to get all mad. But no, I've got Tom Brady and the Bucks winning. Saints will lose in overtime for the 3rd consecutive postseason in a row. Then my championship games are Colts and the Chiefs in Indy, a rematch of last year, I believe, or 2 years ago. They met in the playoffs or regular season. I think it was regular season. The Chiefs won that game. I'm buying in with this Colts team. Colts going to the Super Bowl, baby. If it was an Arrowhead, different story, but it's an Indy. I'm going with the Colts.
They're no fan. It's a dome.
Going with the Colts. I think the Colts are going to win. And then 49ers hosting the Buccaneers. Tom Brady says, I don't give a shit about it being California. I actually like California. And he goes ahead and he beats the Colts. So my Super Bowl is the number 1 seeded Colts playing the number 5 seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You got the oldest starting quarterback matchup in NFL history.
I mean, hey, Phillip Rivers has got to win a Super Bowl. He's got to win it against Tommy T. So we'll end the show. Super Bowl predictions. Yours was Seahawks versus the Chiefs, Dave. How do you see that game playing out?
And what do you think's going to happen when you go up against the Chiefs? You lose. The Chiefs win again.
Back
They're the
to
best
back.
team in football. They're still the best team in football. I love the Seahawks this year, but they're a move away. If they make a move mid-season, you can't hold me to this. But the Chiefs right now, I ain't touching that.
Dave, I've done this before. I've picked this team to win the Super Bowl before. And it started the kiss of death. The kiss of death is a restart if it happens this year because the Saints killed it last year by making the playoffs. But this team started it before. Will they start it again this year? I've got the Colts beating the Bucks and becoming Phillip Rivers finally becomes a Super Bowl champion. Book it.
I won't.
Dave's like, I won't. The Chiefs are going to win.
And I think he's been the better quarterback over Eli Manning his whole career, and it sucks that trade will forever tie them together. And the fact that Eli has 2 rings means people think he's a better quarterback than Phillip Rivers, and he's not.
That's another tie-in. That trade, all 3 Super Bowls in that trade would be against Tommy T or Tommy B.
That'd be pretty cool. Actually. Not happening, but cool.
Any other things you think we need to mention in this long episode of MVP Sports Live?
Quickie news on the way out. KP meniscus toast. He is done for the season.
So that means the Mavs are done for this season?
Yep, likely. I mean, Luka had 1 carry job in him. I don't know that he has another of epic proportions within his body. Actually, you need 2.
Yeah.
Right? It's not looking great. LeBron James, lots of talk and lots of criticism coming out against him. So we'll see what happens there.
Because, wait, you're saying they're not going to play tomorrow?
They are playing tomorrow.
That's
yes.
what I thought. Okay. I thought I heard you say, like, there's more stuff coming
NBA
out.
announces schedule for the playoff resumption Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday is Magic Bucks, OKC Rockets, Blazers, Lakers.
Yeah, so
that should be
Thursday's
an easy
game.
wrap-up.
Yeah, Thursday's games.
So I expect I'm just going to go predictions on the weekend real quick at the end, rapid fire.
Sure.
Bucks win, Rockets win, Lakers win. Celtics Raptors game 1. A booyah. Can I get a shout out? I'm going to take the Raptors in game 1. I'm going to take the Clippers over the Mavs, and I'm going to take the Jazz to close out the Nuggets, which I feel wrong saying. I'm like, every bone in my body is like, the Nuggets should win. I think about it, Dave. Think about it. And I'm like,
but the Jazz, though.
But the Jazz are the weird pick.
Mm-hmm. But that is going to do it for MVP Sports Live. Thank you guys for tuning in for this special episode. As football, we are under 2 weeks away, Dave, as my light was like, ooh.
If it happens.
If it happens. We're under 2 weeks away if it happens. But remember, join the Discord link either down below in the description if you're on YouTube or !Discord if you are on Twitch. We do the show Monday through Friday live, twitch.tv/MVP vids, but you can always catch the show at MVP Sports on YouTube after the fact. Make sure to support us, patreon.com/MVP vids or Twitch subs as well. Twitch subs get the same rewards as our brown patrons. Also, I don't know if I said at the beginning of the show, I'll say it now. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Pat Hill and Philly Sean, for everything that they do. That's going to do it for MVP Sports Live. If you're on Twitch, Games Live is coming up next. We will see you next week. We are officially, Dave, 1 month in the book for MVP Sports Live. I hope it's many, many more months to come. That is going to do it for this week. Have a great weekend of watching basketball getting back underway. And as always, have a good day, everybody.